Hello, this is Karen, and for the next hour, I'll be reading from the July 12th issue of the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Our first front page article, Former Butler Correctional Facility property transferred to local lumber company. The former Butler Correctional Facility here in Wayne County has finally found a new owner. Empire State Development officially transferred the facility to the Wayne County Industrial Development Agency this week, which in turn awarded the property to Westbury Lumber of Red Creek after the company successfully won the bid process. Westbury Lumber, a hardwood sawmill, has been operating near the prison for over 20 years. The 200-plus acre property is now slated to be used as a storage facility for Westbury, allowing them to expand their operations. State agencies, including the Prison Redevelopment Commission, have been attempting to repurpose several vacant or underutilized state-owned properties with the goal of ultimately generating positive environmental, economic, and fiscal impact in communities. New York remains committed to the redevelopment and adaptive reuse of underutilized sites throughout the state, said Empire State Development President, CEO, and Commissioner Hope Knight. By transferring the former Butler Correctional Facility to Wayne County and Westbury Lumber, the property will provide new opportunities for investments that create jobs and generate local and regional economic growth. The IDA and county greatly appreciate all of the work and support from ESD staff in working through this process. We are particularly grateful to Jason and his team at Westbury Lumber. Their cooperation has been a big part of getting this transaction completed. The Redevelopment Commission says finding new owners for these sites has proved a difficult endeavor, as many of these prisons are in very remote locations, built on difficult terrain, and consist of buildings that are very difficult to renovate and maintain. Additionally, there are several constraints that potential developers face, such as complicated title, outstanding bonds, environmental remediation, and lack of access to capital. ESD previously facilitated the transfer of Livingston Correctional Facility to Livingston County for use as a business park. Additionally, ESD has conditionally designated Conifer Realty, LLC, to transform the former Downstate Correctional Facility into a vibrant housing development, including market rate and affordable rental units and homes available for ownership. To learn more about the Commission and the available sites and incentives, visit the website. Next from the front page, lane reductions along Route 31F in Macedon. The New York State Department of Transportation is advising motorists that State Route 31F between the Monroe-Wayne County line and State Route 31 in the town of Macedon, Wayne County, will be reduced to a single lane, with traffic controlled by flagging personnel through Friday, July 17th, to accommodate a pavement project. Work will occur between 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. weekdays. Motorists should anticipate travel delays during this time and are advised to seek alternate routes if possible. Motorists are urged to slow down and drive responsibly in work zones. Fines are doubled for speeding in a work zone. Convictions of 2 or more speeding violations in a work zone could result in the suspension of an individual's driver license. It is the mission of the New York State Department of Transportation to provide a safe, reliable, equitable, and resilient transportation system that connects communities, enhances quality of life, protects the environment, and supports the economic well-being of New York State. Lives are on the line. Slow down and move over for highway workers. For information, find us on Facebook, follow us on X or Instagram, or visit our website. For up-to-date travel information, call 511, visit www.511newyork.org, or download the free 511 New York mobile app. Last from the front page, new hydration station in Village of Clyde. The Village of Clyde and the Department of Public Works has installed a hydration station in Clyde's Village Park, which is now being enjoyed by residents, visitors, and pets. A grand opening and ribbon-cutting ceremony will be held on Tuesday, July 14th at 10 a.m. That will also be the day of Cycle the Erie, so there will be a lot of activity in the park as cyclists begin arriving to rest and eat. The hydration station was a final gift from SOAR, S-O-A-R, a resident-driven grant which worked alongside the people of Clyde, Galen, and Savannah for 11 years before its completion in 2024. Cornell Cooperative Extension administered the SOAR grant, which was funded by the Greater Rochester Health Foundation. The grant's focus was to build upon and work with the existing amenities and strengths of the community. The hydration station idea was suggested by a village resident who walks her dog and knew it would be helpful to not only herself, but to the many other dog walkers. She also knew that thousands of cyclists stop in Clyde every year and understood how much it would be used and appreciated. Following the ceremony, the public is invited to stop by the Clyde Welcome Center on Glasgow Street and take a selfie with the recently installed Clyde sign, which is purposely missing the Y so that you can be the Y in Clyde. The sign was also purchased using remaining funds from the SOAR grant. Next, the editorial page, In This Corner, by Devin Holdraker, co-owner, editor. We're losing the Margarets. Nonprofits are often the lifeblood of communities around the world. Whether it's programs for kids, caring for the elderly, or running the local food pantry, chances are there is an organization behind that effort that is only made possible by local volunteers. I've served on several local boards over the years, and I can tell you from personal experience, it's not for everyone. Hours spent discussing minute details, coupled with hundreds of phone calls and emails, can have even well-meaning folks questioning why they bother. My biggest takeaway is that most organizations are truly run by one or two people. A board may have 7 members, and an organization can have dozens of volunteers, but chances are it's an 80-year-old woman named Margaret who runs the show. It's not that Margaret necessarily enjoys doing all the work. It's that she has been around long enough to know that if she doesn't do it, the work likely won't get done. My fear is that the Margarets are getting tired and old, and that one day soon their busy hands and their vast knowledge will be gone. Then I think about the church. While I'm not religious, I've always been cognizant of how much value a local church can provide to the community. Beyond the worship, there's fellowship, a place where your neighbors congregate and share in your triumphs and your tragedies. In addition, they're typically the organization behind things like your local food pantry, area homeless shelter, and even serve as communal meeting spaces for other local groups. Now, I'm not trying to stereotype, but when I picture an average congregation, there are a whole lot of Margarets sitting in those pews. This means same Margarets who run the community organizations are also managing the pantry, and the pie sale, and the choir, and well, you get it. We've long taken the Margarets of the world for granted, and my suspicion is that they've been too busy doing all the work to train or even find their eventual replacements. People are working longer than ever before, and our lives are often already filled with shifting schedules and obligations. Most of the Margarets I know outlived their husbands by decades and simply had the time to tend to these sorts of things. Is there really another wing of widows who are ready to take the mantle? It's not just a Margaret problem either, lest you think I'm being sexist. We are also in dire need of more Bobs. Bob has been a volunteer firefighter for decades. His fellow firefighters call him Bobby because his dad is Bob Sr., and still somehow shows up to the pancake breakfasts to cook. Bob, like his father before him, spends hours tending to the firehouse, answering calls and partaking in regular training that often takes hours each week. When he's not putting out literal fires, he's attending his local Rotary or Elks meeting, or running the grills at the Lions Club barbecue. You're picturing a Bob right now, aren't you? Well, much like Margaret, Bob is getting tired, but he knows if he ever stops, so will much of the work to which he has dedicated years of his life. Then there's me. Even knowing all of the above, I can't fathom taking the little time I have when I'm not actively working to do more work. I've decided it's easier, for now at least, to just write a check. Organizations need money to survive, and I'm happy to do my part. But the people that actually do the work can't be replaced with mere dollars. We need more hands, and I don't think there are enough future Margarets and Bobs to pick up the slack. So what's the answer? Yes, we need more young people to volunteer, but I'm not sure even a dozen of me could ever replace one single Bob, let alone a Margaret. Many organizations need to be more vocal about all they do in the community and the efforts necessary to continue that work into the future. We, as average citizens, need to pay more attention to their calls for help and make an effort to ensure those who do step up are recognized early and often. For my part, I'll be writing more stories that highlight local groups and the people behind them that keep our communities humming. Know a Margaret or a Bob or anyone who deserves a little recognition? Email dholdraker@waynetimes.com. Also from the editorial page, the thumbs down column. Once again, Donald Trump rises to the level of total idiot. President Donald Trump rose to a new level of low after he shared a social media post shaming Muslim children for wearing hijabs to their kindergarten graduation. On Monday, July 6th, Trump reposted a video to Truth Social that featured a group of kindergartners at Gateway STEM Academy, a majority black K-8 charter school, wearing caps and gowns on stage while smiling and singing a song during their school graduation. Under their blue graduation caps, most of the girls could be seen wearing hijabs. The video, originally shared on X in June by the right-wing account End Wokeness, with the caption, "Public School in St. Paul, Minnesota. Every girl is in a hijab in kindergarten." Trump, 80, reshared that post without additional comment. Last December, Trump came under fire after calling Minnesota Representative Ilhan Omar and Somali immigrants garbage during a televised cabinet meeting before going on to suggest they should go back to where they came from. "I don't want them in our country," he said, while speaking at the end of the 2-hour-long session at the White House. "I'll be honest with you. Somebody will say, oh, that's not politically correct. I don't care. I don't want them in our country." And now from the People News page, we have a photo with a caption. June 25th, 2026, Victoria Indelicato, the Williamson Central School District's transportation director, and her staff of drivers and bus monitors enjoyed their second annual end-of-year luncheon and safety day. The pictured safety bus was made available from Gage-Chili Central School District. Gage-Chili built the bus for training. It's very odd-looking going down the road because the rear half of the bus is turned on its side, making it possible for staff to train on exiting the bus, simulating the bus tipped on its side. Staff exited through the roof, side windows, and rear exits. Drivers also maneuvered through an obstacle course, proper mirror adjustment station, and vehicle pre-trip inspection station. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Next from People News, One-on-One, Times of Wayne County. Interview by Patty Holdraker of Joanne Salerno, founder, CEO, Glow Up Girl, independent speech-language pathologist. I was born in Newark, New York, and have lived most of my life in Clyde. My story is probably one you hear often when you talk with people who dedicate their lives to helping others. My journey started from a place of hardship. I wasn't raised in a close, loving family environment, and many of my childhood memories are connected to the realities of fear, instability, and poverty. School was not a safe place for me either. Instead of being a place where I felt seen or supported, it often felt like an extension of the struggles I was experiencing at home. I experienced severe bullying, and eventually I became someone I never wanted to be as I tried to survive in an environment where I felt powerless. Looking back now, I understand that I didn't need judgment. I needed someone to believe in me. I needed a safe place, a mentor, and someone to remind me that my circumstances did not define my worth or future. One of the most important lessons I learned is that people are often shaped by what they experience, but they are not limited by it. My early experiences gave me a deep understanding of what it feels to be overlooked, judged, and afraid. They became the foundation for the work I do today. Glow Up Girl was created from that understanding. Every girl who walks through our doors will know that she is valued, that she belongs, she is loved, and that her story is still being written. My family story is one that is filled with challenges and resilience. My mother, Cheryl Marvin Snyder, was an incredibly hardworking woman. My mother was an amazing influence in my life. She taught me resiliency. After completing high school, she spent her life working at Parker, Hannafin, and Lyons. My mother had her own difficult journey. Life was not always kind to her, but she was strong and persevered. Late in life, she met a wonderful man, Ed Marvin, and she was able to experience a chapter of happiness and love before she passed away in 2015. My father, Santo Sam Salerno, experienced a life-changing work injury that left him disabled and unable to work for many years. Before that, he enjoyed the outdoors and was an avid hunter and fisherman. He passed away in 2014. I also have 3 siblings. My sister Billie Jo Stewart of Lyons works at G.W. Lisk. My brother, Joseph Salerno, lives in North Carolina and works for the United States Postal Service, and my brother Jason Tryon lives and works in Wolcott. You asked, when you were about 10 years old, what did you want to be when you grew up? To be honest, when I was 10 years old, I don't think I had a big career dream. I think I just wanted to be my neighbor. She had all the best toys, the coolest clothes, and what seemed like the kind of life every kid wished they had. Looking back, it's pretty amazing to think that the little girl who was just trying to survive would one day become the co-founder and CEO of an organization created to empower girls. I graduated from Clyde Savannah in 1989. By the time I reached high school, I had built quite a reputation, and it wasn't for academics or extracurricular activities. I wasn't involved in clubs, sports, or student government. Instead, I was frequently suspended. I was even expelled in the 7th grade. Looking back, it's honestly a wonder that I graduated at all. At the time, I didn't have the tools to understand or cope with the trauma and instability I was experiencing. My behavior reflected what was happening beneath the surface, something I now recognize in many of the young people I work with today. Today, one of the most meaningful parts of my work is helping girls to understand difficult experiences do not define who they are. We teach healthy ways to process emotions, build resilience, and make positive choices, even on the days when it's hard. I want every girl to know that no matter where she starts, she has the ability to write a different ending to her story. I graduated from high school in June and I left for Army basic training that August. I enlisted as an Army reservist, so after completing basic training and advanced individual training, I returned home to Wayne County. My path after the military wasn't a straight line. After returning home, I became pregnant and for a period of time found myself homeless, staying on friends' couches while trying to figure out my next steps. Complications during my pregnancy caused me to lose my job, and with it, my income. As a young single mother, I relied on public assistance. Unfortunately, I also made a series of poor decisions that ultimately led to my incarceration. Looking back, that was one of the lowest points in my life, but it was also the turning point. I recognized that I needed to make fundamental changes, not only for myself, but for my child. I accepted responsibility for my choices and committed to creating a different future. Education became that path forward. I was determined to break the cycle of violence and poverty I had grown up in and become the first person in my immediate family to earn a college degree. That journey eventually led me to earn a Master of Science degree in 2004 and begin a career as a speech-language pathologist, specializing in working with individuals who are deaf or hard of hearing. In addition to working as a speech and language pathologist, I also spent time teaching at Nazareth College and co-teaching at Hobart and William Smith colleges, and more recent work has led me to providing professional development as a trauma and poverty consultant. Every experience reinforced my belief that people are capable of extraordinary growth when someone believes in them and when they begin to believe in themselves. When people ask why I started Glow Up Girl, the answer is simple. I know firsthand that one decision, one opportunity, and one person who believes in you can change the course of a life. My own journey is proof that our worst chapter does not have to define the rest of our story. I'm not married. I like to joke that I've never had the best picker, but life has certainly taught me a lot about relationships, resilience, and knowing my worth. What I am most proud of is my two incredible children. My son, LaShawn Salerno, is a sales representative with 84 Lumber, and more importantly, an amazing father to my granddaughter, Salona. Watching him as a dad has been one of my greatest joys. My daughter, McKenna Hunt, is an elementary school teacher and the owner of Cheer Jungle Athletics. She has a passion for working with children and helping them build confidence, which makes me incredibly proud. In addition to being the CEO at Glow Up Girl, I'm an independent speech-language pathologist. Believe it or not, I didn't choose the profession because it had been my lifelong dream. The story is actually pretty funny. When I was in college, I overheard two students talking about becoming speech-language pathologists. I had never even heard of the profession before, but it sounded interesting, so I called from the hallway and enrolled in the program at Nazareth College. That one conversation changed the course of my life. The truth is, I had no idea what I wanted to be when I enrolled in college. In the environment where I was raised, conversations about careers, college, or what the future could look like just didn't happen. We weren't exposed to many possibilities, so I didn't know what opportunities existed beyond what I had seen. That experience has shaped how I mentor girls today. I want them to know there is a whole world of opportunities waiting for them, which includes careers they may not even know exist yet. One of our goals is to expose girls to a variety of job and career opportunities. My schedule is pretty full running my speech practice and Glow Up Girl. When I'm not working, I can be found spending time with my family or helping in my community. I love to travel. I have been to many of the continental United States and Hawaii. I have traveled to Canada and Mexico. My most favorite trip to date has been Africa. I loved everything about it from tent camping in the Serengeti with wildebeest right outside the tent to markets in Zanzibar. The cultural experience was breathtaking. I'm looking forward to traveling to Vietnam and Laos this November. If I'm being honest, one of the things I've always wished for is a little more breathing room, not necessarily to do something different, but to not always feel like there is so much that needs to be done. My life has always been full of responsibility, challenges, and work, so I don't think I've ever really had a long stretch of time where things felt slow or easy. There's always been something to take care of, someone who needs support, or something pushing me forward. Over time, I've learned that this constant motion is also part of who I am. I tend to step into responsibility rather than away from it, and that has shaped both my personal life and my professional path. So while I sometimes imagine what it might feel like to slow down, I've also come to accept that my purpose and my work are closely tied to staying engaged, showing up for others, and building things that matter. I absolutely believe I have a purpose and that every experience I have had has led me to a deeper understanding of that purpose. To me, the meaning of life is about loving people well, accepting them as they are, and leaving them better than I found them. Next, in People News, the following local students graduated from the University at Buffalo. Morgan Davis of Newark graduated with a bachelor's degree in anthropology. Steffi Sicki of Palmyra graduated with a bachelor's degree in biological sciences. Carly Spall of Sodus Point graduated magna cum laude with a bachelor's degree in biomedical sciences. Jack Wright, Jr. of Ontario graduated with a bachelor's degree in business administration. Hannah Kelly of Palmyra graduated with a BA in chemistry from the College of Arts and Sciences. Skylar Cole of North Rose graduated with a BA in economics. Isabel Figueroa of Newark graduated with a BA in environmental studies. Maddie Senzata of Red Creek graduated cum laude with a bachelor's degree in exercise science. Quentin Franklin of Lyons graduated cum laude with a BA degree in exercise science. Brianna Vezos of North Rose graduated with a BA degree in exercise science athletic training. Madison Parker of Ontario graduated summa cum laude with a BA in health and human services early childhood education. Lily Ayotte of Sodus graduated with a BA degree in Human and Health Services. Eva Sutton of Walworth graduated with a BA in Law from the School of Law. Emery Taylor of Lyons graduated summa cum laude with a BA degree in Legal Studies. Cameron McCann of Alton graduated with a BA degree in Mathematics. Connor Widner of Ontario graduated cum laude with a BA degree in Mechanical Engineering. Ira Huber of Macedon graduated summa cum laude with a BA degree in Neuroscience and a bachelor's degree in Spanish. Emily Musa of Wolcott graduated magna cum laude with a BA degree in Nursing. Isabel Vargas of Marion graduated with a BA degree in Psychology. Serena Barber of Ontario with a BA degree in Psychology. Stephen Logue, Macedon, has been named to the President's Honor Roll for the spring 2026 semester at Bismarck State College. From the History page, the Newark History Timeline by John Zorno, Times contributor. There's a photo caption, 1950s. Participating at the Newark Kitty Parade was Bob Keeshan as Clarabelle the Clown. Keeshan would later be known as Captain Kangaroo. Also on the history page, WPHS invites community to celebrate the 66th annual Pulteneyville Homecoming on July 18th. The Williamson Pulteneyville Historical Society invites residents and visitors from across the region to experience one of Wayne County's longest-standing summer traditions at the 66th annual Pulteneyville Homecoming on Saturday, July 18th from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on the grounds of historic Gates Hall and Centennial Park, located at 4107 Lake Road in Pulteneyville. The annual Pulteneyville Homecoming Celebration is a community favorite, presented the third full weekend of every July. With the Williamson Pulteneyville Historical Society as the sponsoring 501c3 organization, Homecoming is planned and presented by an enthusiastic committee of community volunteers. Coinciding with America 250, this year's homecoming theme is Let Freedom Ring. Don your red, white, and blue apparel, decorate your homes, enter a float, vintage cars or tractors in the 3 p.m. parade, and celebrate America on July 18th. The day is full of activities, including a family fun run, parade, historical walking tour, classic car show, and opportunities to explore one of the region's most historic communities. Visitors are encouraged to bring lawn chairs and spend the day enjoying the festivities. Homecoming continues a tradition spanning more than 6 decades of celebrating the unique heritage of Pulteneyville while strengthening connections throughout the greater community. The event showcases the rich maritime history, historic architecture, and welcoming spirit that have made Pulteneyville a treasured destination along the southern shore of Lake Ontario. Admission to homecoming is free, with select activities and food or beverage purchases available throughout the day. For the complete schedule of events and additional information, visit the Pulteneyville Homecoming website at www.pulteneyvillehomecoming.com. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Lastly, from the History page, 2026 American History Award. The Colonel William Prescott chapter of the New York State Daughters of the American Revolution has announced the Wayne County winners of their 2026 American History Award. These seniors have shown exceptional knowledge of American history through their classwork in their respective high school. This award has been presented annually since approximately 1917, and in 2016 was dedicated to the memory of Letty Taylor Farrell, after her lifetime of dedication to her fellow citizens. She was a lifelong resident of Newark, New York, and donated much of her life's work to her church and community, as well as being a very active member of the Daughters of the American Revolution. Award winners received a certificate and a monetary award. The 2026 honorees of this award are Olivia Drams, Clyde Savannah High School; Avery Stone, Lyons High School; Sienna Madison, Marion High School; Ethan Matthew Clock, Newark High School; Marcus Hafner, North Rose-Wolcott High School; Tegan Hodak, Palmac High School; Ethan D. Haas, Red Creek High School; Claire Doze, Gananda High School; Zachary Fichter, Sodus High School; Sophia Bishilin, Wayne County High School; and Faith Atwater, Williamson High School. And now we have the obituaries. From Sodus, Bonnie L. Goronsky Bowling, 81 years old. From Savannah, Joanne R. Smith Breen, 89 years old. From Palmyra, Calvin L. Bucknam, 93 years old. From Marion, Isaac DeWispelier, Jr., 89 years old. Sodus, Nancy Ellen Dubois, 78 years old. There's a notice, celebration of life for David Holdredge, who died December 2025 at 82. On Thursday, July 16th, 1 to 2:30 p.m. at the Stick and Rudder Public House in Fairhaven. From Lyons, David A. Mackey, Sr., 88 years old. From Newark, George Cyrus McFall, 77 years old. From Port Byron, Catherine L. Powell, 87. From Wolcott, Gary Purdy, 79 years old. From Palmyra, Donald Fish Wallace, 85 years old. For details of these obituaries, you can call Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service at 716-821-5555. And now from the Senior Moments page, The Healthy Geezer by Fred Cicchetti. How much vitamin D do you really need? Question: I'm 68 years old and I want to know how much vitamin D you need to be healthy. Answer: the Office of Dietary Supplements in the National Institutes of Health recommends the following daily dietary allowances: 400 international units for children under 1 year, 600 IU for everyone 1 to 70 years old, and 800 IU for everyone more than 70 years old. The recommended upper limit for vitamin D is 2,000 IU a day. Vitamin D can be toxic when taken in higher doses. Vitamin D is included in most multivitamins, usually in strengths from 50 IU to 1,000 IU. Vitamin D toxicity is rare. There is a greater risk of poisoning if you have liver or kidney conditions or if you take some diuretics. There are different forms of vitamin D. The major forms, the ones important to humans, are vitamin D2 and vitamin D3. Vitamin D2 is synthesized by plants. We get vitamin D in our diet. Very few foods in nature contain vitamin D. It is found in eggs, dairy products, fish, oysters, and cod liver oil. Foods, such as milk, may be fortified with vitamin D2 or D3. Fortified foods provide most of the vitamin D in the American diet. Vitamin D3 is synthesized in human skin when it is exposed to sunlight. About 10 minutes of daily exposure to sun is considered enough to prevent deficiencies. Vitamin D's primary job is to maintain normal amounts of calcium and phosphorus in your blood. Vitamin D helps keep your bones strong. Research suggests that vitamin D may protect us not only from osteoporosis, loss of bone density, but also from high blood pressure, cancer, heart disease, diabetes, multiple sclerosis, and psoriasis. Populations at a high risk for vitamin D deficiencies include the elderly, obese individuals, and people with limited sun exposure. Osteomalacia, also known as adult rickets, is found in older patients deficient in vitamin D. Osteomalacia causes bone and muscle weakness. People older than 50 are at an increased risk of developing vitamin D insufficiency. As people age, skin cannot synthesize vitamin D as efficiently, and the kidneys are less able to convert vitamin D to its active hormone form. Recent studies indicate that vitamin D reduces the risk of falling, which is especially dangerous for seniors. However, to obtain the benefits of the vitamin, you must take 700 to 1,000 IU a day. These studies buttress other research that has shown that vitamin D improves strength, balance, and bone health in the elderly. Each year, 1/3 of people 65 and older and 1/2 of people 50 and older fall at least once. Almost 1/10 of these falls puts their victims in an emergency room. Many seniors who fall end up in nursing homes. Next, from the Senior Moments page, the Senior Newsline by Matilda Charles. Avoiding COVID, still. It's gone. There is no more COVID. It's completely gone. Well, no. I heard this exchange in the store today and had to step in. I'm probably the only one who is still, after 6 years, tracking local cases of COVID on a weekly basis. And the truth, as I explained to the two ladies in the store, is that COVID is still out there. As of this writing, COVID is launching again in 3 states, declining in 34 states, and remaining the same in 12 states, while actually circulating to some degree in all 50 states. It's not likely that a worldwide pandemic will explode again like it did in 2020. After all, so many people have taken the vaccines and still have a tiny bit of immunity left over from that. The key word there, however, is tiny, and that immunity is waning more by the month. In other words, it is possible to get COVID now, despite prior shots and despite there not being a huge number of cases at the moment. It's summer, people are traveling, and the 3 states with the growing number of cases are tourist hotspots. While we don't need to monitor our potential exposure every single minute like we did when COVID was raging around the world, we do need to acknowledge that over 800,000 seniors died of COVID and take care of ourselves. Some steps: identify which stores are likely to have test kits in stock should you need to replenish your supply. Wear a mask if you're going to be in a crowd. Ask your doctor whether you should have a booster. Wash your hands and use hand sanitizer. According to WHO, the World Health Organization, in the past 4 weeks, there have been 246 COVID deaths around the world. 202 of them were here in the United States. And as always, this week's lunch club at Club 60 Senior Centers. Lunch Club 60 senior centers are located in Sodus, Ontario, Clyde, Palmyra, and Newark. The Lunch Club locations are strictly eat-in. Please contact a center manager between 9:30 and 11:30 a.m. to reserve your meal. Please call the day prior for the meal you want. Our agency is available to answer any questions at 315-946-5624. Our next article, Lions Interchurch Council holds baccalaureate service. On Wednesday, June 17th, the Lions Interchurch Council hosted a baccalaureate service for the class of 2026 of Lions High School at the First Lutheran Church. The council is thankful to Camille Clark, Mary Lou Bonnell, the Ecumenical Choir, Michaela Schaffer, and the Lions Varsity Singers for their music, Pastor Wigmore III, Pastor Tricia Garback, Justin Fries for participating, and Erica Gantz, Aaron Brooks, Jan Bailey, and the Lions High School for their assistance. The Interchurch Council of Lions consists of 7 churches in Lyons: First Lutheran Church, First Presbyterian Church of Lyons, Grace Episcopal Church, Lyons United Methodist Church, Mount Zion Baptist Church, St. John's Lutheran Church, and St. Michael's Roman Catholic Church. Photo captions with this article pictured are graduates who attended, and on the far left, Mr. Justin Fries, high school principal, who gave words of wisdom, and on far right, Pastor William Wigmore III, moderator, and gave message presentation. A highlight of the evening was the presentation of the Faith Award, a $500 gift presented annually to a graduating senior who has been active in his or her church. This year's winner is Jameer Johnson, pictured holding certificate, a member of Mount Zion Church with his family. Next, Newark Rotary Foundation fundraiser. The Rotary Foundation is giving away $10,000 in cash as part of its 2026 cash raffle, with prizes ranging from $500 to $4,000. All prizes are guaranteed, with only 250 tickets at $100 each being sold. The drawing will take place August 22nd at the Newark Family Festival. Last year, Newark Rotary was able to support the following: Laurel House Comfort Care, Troop 122 Boy Scouts, Literacy Volunteers, Newark Food Closet, Newark Free Lunch Program, Camp Ansiawa, ARC of Wayne, Alex Eli Community Center, Scholarships for Graduating Seniors, Shop with a Cop, Polio Eradication, Haiti Orphanage, Youth Exchange, Salvation Army, St. Mark's Baby Closet, and Christmas food bags. To purchase a ticket, text Jan Hance at 315-573-0617, or to use a credit card, contact Kevin Mooney at 315-573-4162. Tickets are available for purchase in person at Joey's Northside Grocery or Bodine's local liquor store. Next, announcement of United Way grants for nonprofits, including in Wayne County. United Way of Greater Rochester and the Finger Lakes had announced the recipients of its Community Responsiveness Fund grant, awarding more than $1.7 million to 17 nonprofit health and human services organizations working to maintain, adapt, and continue delivering critical services across the region. The Community Responsiveness Fund was launched in March in response to the growing impact of public funding cuts and policy changes on the region's nonprofit human services sector. Nonprofits across our 6-county region are facing unprecedented pressure, said Robert DeLeon, Vice President of Impact at United Way of Greater Rochester and the Finger Lakes. We are proud to have awarded more than $1.7 million to 17 nonprofit agencies to help them maintain, adapt, and continue delivering critical services to our community. Grants ranged from $50,000 to $200,000 and will support a range of services, including access to food, legal services, health services, youth and unhoused youth supports, and basic needs assistance. In Wayne County, the recipient is the Wayne County Action Program. You are listening to a reading of articles and features from the Times of Wayne County on the Niagara Frontier Radio Reading Service. Next, news from inside the Cornell Cooperative Extension. Wayne County 4-H announces Senior Scholarship Winners by Melissa Spoon, 4-H Youth Development Team. We are pleased to announce this year's Senior Scholarship winners. These seniors have been active in 4-H for many years and have done some truly amazing things. They exemplify the qualities iconic for our most successful and hardworking 4-H youth: maturity, commitment to service, leadership, and an internal motivation to make the best better. They all have great plans for the future and have been amazing role models for our younger 4-Hers. We wish you all the success in the world. Outstanding 4-H Achievement, $1,000. Ethan Smith, 4-H Excellence, $500. And Wayne County 4-H Horse Program, $500. Kelly Sanson. There is also a notice for the Wayne County 4-H Livestock Auction. Save the date, August 14th, 2026. At 5:30, the auction begins at the Wayne County Fairgrounds in Palmyra, New York. Also on the Cornell Cooperative Extension page, Lyons School District Benefits from Partnership by Amy Bullard, Outreach Coordinator. Students thrive when school wellness policies and practices create opportunities for positive engagement and healthy relationships. From 2023 to 2026, CCE Wayne proudly partnered with the Lyons Central School District through the Creating Healthy Schools and Communities grant, Active People, Healthy Wayne. This partnership enabled the school to address concerns related to increased bullying and negative student behaviors, particularly during recess periods. Through discussions with school staff, it became clear that providing students with additional recreational opportunities could help reduce boredom, which often contributes to negative attitudes and behaviors. The goal was to increase physical activity while creating opportunities for students to build healthy relationships with their peers. Using grant funding, the school purchased a variety of physical activity equipment, beginning with a Gaga ball pit. Gaga ball is a fast-paced game, similar to dodgeball, that promotes teamwork, cooperation, and inclusivity by allowing students of all skill levels to participate. Additional purchases included badminton equipment, bicycles, indoor recess activity carts, and cardio kickboxing bags. The new equipment has helped address many of the challenges the school was experiencing by providing students with positive, engaging ways to spend their time. Beyond encouraging physical activity and positive social interaction, these opportunities have also helped students develop lifelong recreational skills. In fact, students became so enthusiastic about badminton that the school participated in a fundraising tournament benefiting a local charity and expanded opportunities for students to play after school and during evening programs. One Lyons physical education teacher shared, "This grant has had a direct and positive impact on the students in the school. The purchasing of equipment has benefited students greatly by using it during and after school, and they are learning lifetime activities." CCE Wayne subcontracted with Finger Lakes Community Action to support the Lyons Central School District in implementing these positive improvements throughout the life of the grant. This article is supported with funds from the state of New York. Next, we have a notice: Medicare 101 classes offered, free, unbiased information. Turning 65 soon, new to Medicare, caring for someone with Medicare insurance, confused about your options? Come and learn the basics of Medicare, how you get it, what it covers, choosing the best coverage for you. Next sessions, Tuesday, August 4th, 1 p.m. to 3 p.m. Sessions held at Wayne County Department of Aging and Youth, 1519 Nye Road, Suite 300, Lyons, New York. Please call to reserve a seat 315-946-5624. Class slides and handouts available on our webpage. Seating is limited for all programs, so call us today. And now from the Law and Order section, we have a photo caption. On Monday, June 29th, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office held its third annual K9 fundraiser golf tournament at the Ontario Golf Club. A special highlight of the day was the official introduction of new K9 Johnny, proudly named in honor of Deputy John E. Heckel, Jr., a longtime K9 handler who passed away almost 20 years to the day. His family was present as they unveiled K9 Johnny and officially retired his radio number 429. What an honor! Pictured above is Deputy John E. Heckel, Jr., his family at the event, and below new K9 Johnny with his handler, Deputy Cal Hapapuro. Next in Law and Order, Wayne County deputies served in Washington, D.C. for Nation's 250 celebration. As our nation celebrated its 250th birthday, the Wayne County Sheriff's Office was proud to have two deputies serving in the nation's capital as part of the Freedom 250 celebration. Deputy Kendall Mitchell and Deputy Christopher Sargent volunteered for a month-long assignment with the United States Marshals Service to help provide safety and security for events taking place on the National Mall. The deputies were sworn in as Deputy U.S. Marshals on June 18th and will serve through July 18th. Sheriff Robert Milby praised their willingness to answer the call. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to be part of our nation's history. They stepped forward with very little notice to serve their country, and we couldn't be more proud of them. We look forward to welcoming them home and hearing about their experiences. And now from the sports page. Wayne's Sidney Howard receives Section 5 scholarship. Section 5 Athletics has announced their scholarship recipients, and Wayne's Sidney Howard was selected as one of 9 winners for the 2026 spring season. Section 5 offers a $500 scholarship for each sport each season, to be used toward future academic endeavors as part of its mission to promote excellence in interscholastic athletics while supporting an education-based learning environment. Winners are selected based on a letter of recommendation from their coach, their high school transcript, and activity sheet, as well as their responses to application questions. Sydney has been participating in flag football for 1 season. In addition, she participated in soccer, basketball, and outdoor track. Sydney shares that some of her favorite highlights from this past season includes being a part of the offense and defense this season and having the opportunity to play multiple positions such as quarterback, running back, wide receiver, and safety. After high school, Sydney plans to study to become a physician's assistant at Gannon University while continuing to play soccer. Sydney states the one word that best describes her is optimistic. Next, we have our Humane Society of Wayne County Pets of the Week at 1475 County House Road, Lyons, New York. You can call the Humane Society of Wayne County at 315-946-3389. Panther is a 2.5-year-old neutered male black and white short-haired kitty. He likes to follow you around and have conversations. He will follow you everywhere and be your shadow. He is very affectionate, playful, and curious. His favorite thing to do is looking out the window, and he loves to be held like a baby. He would do best being the only animal in the home and to be spoiled. If you're interested in meeting him, please contact the shelter to make sure he is not at one of our off-site adoption centers. Petey is a 1-year-old neutered male brown and white pit mix. He is energetic and loves to go for walks. He needs to be the king of his castle and no other animals. If you are interested in meeting him, please contact the shelter to make sure he is not at one of our off-site adoption centers. And now from the Finger Lakes Community Action page, Finger Lakes Community Action celebrates 60 years of service. Since 1966, we have been providing a wide variety of services for our community. Whereas our celebration is going on all year, we highlighted this important milestone on May 21st at our open house. And the photo caption is CEO Janelle Cooper addressing the audience. On the right, a beautiful display was created to highlight some of our special moments over the years. In addition, we now have decades albums spanning our 60 years of history to capture our many accomplishments throughout history. Thank you to all who attended and have supported our work over all these years. Visit us at fingerlakescommunityaction.org. Also in Finger Lakes Community Action, help address homelessness in Wayne County. We are organizing a point-in-time count that will take place on Wednesday, July 22nd. The point-in-time count is an important event that takes place all across the United States twice a year. There is a count in January and July. During the count, trained teams are sent to different areas throughout the county to look for people who may be unsheltered and in need of help. The teams respectfully approach people, ask them if they need help, and if they do, they are provided with an immediate way to get them into a safe place. Everyone that is approached is provided with a resource bag with information on how to get help, non-perishable food items, water, blankets, and similar items. We need volunteers. Please contact Rob Weaver if you are interested in learning more or are able to join a point-in-time count team. Contact Rob Weaver to learn more. Area code 315-359-0986. And lastly, we have a notice. Free, take it all. Take it all. Everything in the Sodas thrift store must go. Everything is free. First come, first served. No holds. When? Friday, July 17th, 9 a.m. to 3 p.m. Saturday, July 18th, 9 a.m. to 1 p.m. Where? 7190 Ridge Road, Sodas, New York. You've been listening to a reading of articles and features from the July 12th issue of the Times of Wayne County. Your reader has been Karen. Thank you for listening.